Hey, how you doing? It's Dan here. What day is it today? Thursday. Chomping along through the week. Soon it'll be the weekend. A little bit chilly at the moment. I think it's going to stay that way for a bit. But hey ho, you've got to take the rough with the smooth. So today I'm going to talk about the third macronutrient. We've already talked about carbohydrates. What's the best type of carbohydrates in order to keep us healthy and to make sure we're not strapping on a load of body fat. We've also talked about proteins and how we can become protein deficient if we're not getting enough protein brought on enough, and we can lose lean body mass, and the different types of protein we should be eating. Today we're going to be talking about fats and oils. Something that I've kind of been advocating for many years, over sort of 15 years, ever since I've been working as a holistic health coach, as I've been working with metabolic typing. We've very much advocated good fats all the way from the start, and it's only recently that the mainstream is starting to catch up, and we know now, so everybody's talking about sugar being the villain and fats actually okay. The main thing we take across today is that fats need to be good quality. There are such things as bad fats. Most people have heard that, and it really comes down to how processed fats are. Just like our carbohydrates and our proteins, we want to be investing pretty much the best quality that we can, because if a fat has been processed to any extent, if it's been overcooked, exposed to too much light or air, depending on how stable they are, it can cause real problems in the body. It normally manifests in inflammation. If you've got any itises, arthritis, colitis, anything with an itis on the end, it normally signifies inflammation. Now, if you've got an itis, then it's a good idea to take a real good scan on what type of fats and oils that you have in your diet and whether or not they're processed, because processed fats can lead to inflammation in the body. Anyway, today we're going to talk about the different types of fats, just to kind of one-on-one on just, basic nutrition, so you've got a better informed choice. When the body is functioning better, it's more inclined to kind of burn body fat rather than store it. So let's move away from calories, and we're now talking about nourishment, because that's really where I think people are going wrong. Their mindset is always on about calories and fuel as opposed to nourishment and nutrition. Just quickly talk about the kind of 5 main reasons we want fats in our diet. And by the way, your diet as a starting block should be around about 20 to 30% fats, and that might shock some of you. So number 1, fats can be utilized as energy, especially this time of year in the northern equator. Most people should have been adapted to not eat so many carbohydrates. And our body's very clever, because it'll basically adapt in burning fuel, whatever you kind of expose it to. So if you eat a lot of carbohydrates, it'll adapt and become more efficient at eating carbohydrates. Same as protein, same as fats. And in the winter months, generally speaking, people want to push more towards fat and protein, because that's naturally what's available in our diets. So energy is the first reason why we need to have fats in our diet. More often than not, when people take fats out of the diet, sugar content goes up, and they're less. They feel like there's something empty. So then they're always hungry. So fats will actually keep you satisfied and keep you energized, but you've got to make sure you're eating the right fats. Number 2, this is a big one, because hormones, our androgen hormones, estrogen, testosterone, cortisol, all our stress hormones, are all derived from fat. So over the many years where people had low-fat diets, of course, if you don't have fats and the nuts and bolts in your diet, you're not going to be able to process and create the hormones at a kind of base level. So people are going to have hormonal imbalances. They're not going to think right. They're not going to be able to cope with stress. So if that is you, then I would say if you have a hormone imbalance, then you really need to look at kind of where your hormones, where your fats are coming from in your diet. If you look at the biochemical pathway of how hormones like estrogen, testosterone, cortisol are made, stems from cholesterol, pregnenolone, progesterone, I think it is, and then as an enzymatic pathway which breaks down finally into our hormones, which tell us, our body, what to do. Hormones are messengers. They're kind of like little kind of orchestrating what's going on in the body. So if the nuts and bolts aren't there, you're going to have hormonal imbalances. Cellular membranes are trillions of cells that have phospholipids that allow things to go in and out of the cell, which allow our bodies to function. So every cell in your eyes, in your hair, in your legs, in your liver, every cell is basically, the membranes are made from cholesterol, so lipids. So if you can imagine, if your lipids are made from poor fats, then your cells aren't going to function very well. Your brain and your nervous system is basically created by, manufactured by fats, especially essential fats, especially fish oils. So if you haven't got fat in your diet, you're not going to be able to basically operate. Your nervous system isn't going to be able to work as well. And a lot of our fat-soluble vitamins, our minerals, are delivered through fat. They're fat-soluble. So again, if you can become deficient in certain fat-soluble, if you type it into Google, you'll see the list of all the fat-soluble vitamins that are kind of associated with fats and oils. So what type of fats and how much should we be eating? Now remember, this is just a generic base to start for most people. Now my approach is kind of tailoring it once you've got the nuts and bolts, but most people do best on a third and a third and a third. You can't really see that because my screen is so big. I'm going to take this down a little bit. Look at that. So at the bottom here we have saturated fats. Now we should have, again, a third and a third and a third. That generally comes from animal fats. Animal fats you'll find in eggs, meats, butter, cheeses, good quality. So anything processed, stick it in the bin. Monosaturated fats, again, a third of your diet should come from monosaturated fats. So you need to stock up on nuts, seeds, olive oils and avocados. And then polyunsaturated fats, which are a little bit less unstable, are fish oils, hemps, some things like peanuts and walnuts and chia seeds and Brazil nuts. Let's take this back up again. So, or maybe not, let's keep it there before I break it. So anyhow, there you go. There's a very gist on, and actually let me tell you about the quantity. Quantity-wise, for males should be about a thumb size, the whole thumb should be a kind of fats. And you need to really add or subtract fats depending on how you feel. You just really need to listen to your body and let your body tell. But as I said, between 20 and 30% of your diet needs to be of fats. And you'll notice that your blood sugars are a little bit more stable, you'll feel more satisfied, and you'll just kind of feel more energized when you're on good fats and oils. My tip is if you're going to cut kind of on your shopping bill, make sure you spend and invest on the best quality fats and oils that you can buy. So unprocessed, unfiltered, as much as in their natural state as possible. So there we go. Go out there and buy some fats and oils. Let me know how you get on. I guarantee you'll feel much more healthier if you start kind of increasing the quality of your fats and oils and the quantity of fats and oils. And don't be scared about piling on the pounds. I guarantee your body will thank you for it. Take care, and I'll see you at boot camp soon.